So, Spang-a-Lang-a-Palooza. This is a fun exercise that I came up with to address some issues that some of my students were having. Some of my students were having a harder time developing speed and control for the quicker ride cymbal pattern stuff, and they were also having trouble developing the speed and control for the triple stroke roll that applies to the Buzzroll. I wanted to come up with something that would address these issues, but would also be something that you could play more repetitions of, and also maybe play it louder in the weaker hand. So this is something that you can also use to develop your weaker hand. So now here's where things start to get really fun. Well, we've got this, which is going to become kind of like a Clyde Stubblefield type of thing, especially if we move it over here to the hi-hat. So I'm going to play the 3-note phrase section of it on the hi-hat, and I'm going to add the first bass drum variation. Now here's the first bass drum variation that I really personally like, and I tend to play this one a lot, especially in funk or jazz. Now let's move that back up to the ride cymbal. I'm gonna play some ride cymbal time, and then I'm gonna come into this and show you how it will work in a musical context in a jazz setting. It'll work in funk too. Now we can add another bass drum variation to this to make it a little more different. Here's another bass drum variation that I like, and you'll really start to notice the similarity between this and the Stanton diddle. Diddle. For kicks, I'll move it over here to the right hand on the floor tom. So hopefully you can see some of the benefits of spending some time with this. Yes, it's an exercise, but it'll help you develop some of the technique and control you need for several applications of the 3 strokes in a row. This will help you work on your triple stroke roll, which will apply to the buzz roll. This will also help develop your left hand, so you can get your triples up to speed where your left hand is not quite keeping up. And this will also work on your up-tempo ride cymbal playing, not only on the ride cymbal itself, but also if you try this out by playing this with brushes and pulling out the sound from the head. Once you start to apply some of these phrases where we start to split up the hands between the ride cymbal and the snare, or the hi-hat and the snare, or the hi-hat and the second snare, you can see how we can apply some of these musical phrases once we turn it into a 3-note phrase and add the extra notes. You can really start to add this to jazz, funk, drum and bass, samba, and all kinds of different applications. So I encourage you to experiment with this, improvise, and come up with your own ways of using it and put it into your own musical situations. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button as well as the notification bell so you can be notified when I post future lessons and videos here on my YouTube channel. I would love to have you come check out StantonMooreDrumAcademy.com. I have over 20 hours of video lessons there, as well as over 300 pages of written lessons as well. I would love to have you join and become part of the SMDA community. Thank you all for checking us out. See you down the line.